You can call me Sunny. And this morning I want to share with you how you can integrate the ideas of functional medicine into your life if you're a person who just wants to feel better, or into your practice if you are a practitioner of some sort. Maybe you've been trained conventionally, like I was, and you've heard about functional medicine and you're thinking, what is that something I would like to know more about? Do I want to go into it? What happened with me was I got sick and I needed to figure out how to get better. And that led me to the ideas of functional medicine, and it helped me get a lot better, right? Now, looking back on it, it was a very, very big investment in both time and money. And now that I sort of get a grasp of what exactly it is, I feel like people can implement the ideas without having to go and become. I'm not knocking becoming certified in functional medicine. I think that's great, but not everybody has the time, money, wherewithal, interest, because maybe your practice is really rolling, or maybe you're a client, maybe you're within Energy for Life, my anti-aging holistic healing community right now, and you're thinking, well, what's functional medicine and how can I apply new ideas? And basically, you guys, if you went to medical school, this is what we thought we were going to do when we went to medical school, right? They talk so much about focusing on the whole person. And now you're seeing people in 15-minute blocks and they can only talk about one problem. And it's just a little sad because I really thought that I would be, in moving into conventional medicine, I thought I'd be healing the whole person. I've always been holistic minded. And so with functional medicine, I learned new tools, but some of these tools are eminently available. And if you want to use some of the tools, you certainly can. I'm going to link below this video a few tools that you can use in your life, in your practice. But basically, what is functional medicine? So I think the first question is, why do we even need it? And I believe that the primary reason we need it is because medical doctors are taught to focus on acute care. It's really a short-term thing, like let's diagnose the thing, give a medicine, and that's how we're taught. And I know all of you guys who are in your own practice, no matter where you are, that you are trying to do a lot more than that. And it's really hard because you don't have much time. So one thing that when people move to a functional medicine practice, they tend to have more time with people, because a big part of the therapy of functional medicine is actually taking somebody through their timeline, through their story. It is therapeutic to have people, go through their life and list the important events that happened. Big events, not just medical events. So what we do is we have somebody go through their whole life and create a timeline. I'm going to show you that in just a second. But the other reason that we need functional medicine is because right now there's a big gap between research and medical practice. The way that doctors practice is not up to date with the latest research. And the idea here is that within functional medicine, we really are trying to look at what works to move the needle and in a holistic sense with the least chance of harming somebody. Okay. So what we're also seeing, if you're in practice, you're seeing a lot of people with a lot of symptoms, right? This was not as true back when I first started to practice, was that we had so many people with what I call complex medical issues. So they had stem to stern symptoms. And so we're seeing more complex medical illness. And in medical school, they taught us that that was psychiatric illness. And that's because we at that time we didn't understand, and I think it's probably still taught this way, but we didn't understand that toxicities and exposures can cause, as well as stealth infections, can cause multi-system, multi-symptom illness. And so if you're thinking about, well, how can I help those people without just giving them some Prozac, because that's the first thing, is to reach for an SSRI when somebody has maybe anxiety, depression, and there are better ways, because when we reverse root cause, that's what functional medicine is trying to find. Well, what's the root of these symptoms that you're having? And diving into that. So the first thing that a functional medicine physician is going to do is going to go through a timeline. So I'm going to flash this up so you can see what it looks like. What's the timeline? Let's see that window. Let's see if I can make it bigger, 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 bigger. Okay, let's stretch it out, make it bigger. Okay, so the functional medicine timeline, basically, we have people write down everything that happened in their life, in their families, marriages, births, deaths, school, moves, where did I live, infections, hospitalizations, everything, difficult times emotionally. And then we have them write that timeline, everything that happened in their life. And you can do this, right? So writing out your story, it's therapeutic. And then what we want to do is match the story with when we began to have certain symptoms. Okay. And it's amazing what people can on their very own discover when they start to link, okay, I moved to this place and then I started to feel depressed. And I moved out of that place and then my mood lifted, right? Or when I was living near that factory. So were you living near a highway? We know that people have worse asthma when they're living near a highway, when the pollution in the air is higher, has a higher parts per million. So the question is, where were you living? Was there a leak in the house? Was there a flood in the house? Did your basement flood? Did you start to have symptoms, allergy symptoms after that? Many times what we discover is seemingly unrelated events, where we were living, what kind of people were around us, what we were doing as a job, what were you exposed to at work? What in that workplace, could there have been something there that made me sick? So we try and identify, sort of go through the timeline, and this is something everybody ought to do, right? I mean, you ought to do it. It's kind of interesting to look back on your life and then list all of the times symptoms came and went. And we're trying to understand, when was I diagnosed with this? When did I start that medication? So this is not something that is an instant, it's not an instant thing. It takes time. You got to think about it. And so a functional medicine physician will look at that and they'll try and identify triggers for symptoms, triggers for diseases, and things that you may be doing that keep the issues going, right? So, for instance, maybe somebody was exposed to, drank a lot of, okay, let's say in high school, you were playing a bunch of sports and your mom was making sure you were hydrated. So you're always carrying water bottles around in the back of that station wagon in the 70s when nobody wore seatbelts. Do y'all remember what I'm talking about? No, nobody wore seatbelts. We're like sliding around in the back. And so, but your mom made sure you're hydrated. So she had these water bottles there. And so you drank out of those BPA laden water bottles all through high school, lots and lots of water. So lots and lots of BPA. Well, that's an endocrine disruptor. And so that may be linked to hormonal problems later, this toxin that can stay in the body. Now, of course, they at least in our country, you can't use BPA, but you can use a lot of other chemicals similar to BPA in plastics. So that's why we suggest not using plastics, because there are toxins we don't even know about that are probably in plastics. So we're looking, but I digress. So basically, we're looking for your timeline. And one of the most therapeutic interventions of functional medicine or other physician, anybody can do this, is to look at a person's timeline and tell it back to them. And that's unfortunately in the busy life of conventional medicine, you don't have the time to do that. But many natural practitioners have the time to look at somebody's timeline and go, and this happened, and it's therapeutic. Just that intervention in itself is therapeutic. So I think that's a great place to start. And what I'll do, I'll put a link to the functional medicine timeline below this video on my YouTube channel. So YouTube channel, if you're watching it somewhere else, you can go to Feel Good Functional Medicine YouTube channel, and you can find it. And So the other thing that we do in functional medicine is we are looking at something called the functional medicine matrix. So let me share my screen again. I'm going to show you this. This looks complex, but guys, it is not as complex as it seems. They sort of came up with, so basically the idea here, look at the bottom. Let's start at the bottom because that's easy. Sleep and relaxation. So these are the basics, the base of the pyramid. Sleep and relaxation, exercise and movement, nutrition, managing stress, and relationships. So any physician, if they can optimize those in their patient, all the person's symptoms will start to improve. Okay. Now, even if they're having symptoms from some root cause that has not yet been improved, right? And so then, if you look at the top part, the white area, these different areas are kind of thought of with different names if you're in conventional medicine, like defense and repair. Well, we think of the immune system, right? Defense and repair. How do we keep inflammation down and make sure our immune system's working? Energy, truly, we're talking about creating energy. So that's pretty easy to figure out. Biotransformation and elimination. All right, that's like, is your liver working? Are you not constipated? Are you sweating? Are we getting things out of the body? And could we be toxic? Right? Could. And that's something they really don't teach much about toxicity in conventional medical school. Maybe they do now. They didn't 25 years ago. Transport, your cardiovascular system, your lymphatic system. How do you move things through the body? Communication of your endocrine system. Okay, so these words seem mystical, but they are not mystical. Structural integrity. How well is everything put together? Is something broken in there? Is your fascia flowing? Assimilation. It has to do with your gut. And then and you see over on the left, retelling the patient's stories. We're really looking to link together possible things that triggered something, the tick bite when you were at camp, the things that kept stuff going, like all the time I was eating a standard American diet, environmental exposures, stressful events, stressful family situations. And then we want to try and retell the story and then look for the most important area. So when a functional medicine practitioner is filling this out, they're trying to see where they're making the most notes, right? If they're making the most notes under assimilation, which is gut, then they're going to start with the gut. And so here's a hot tip for those of you who are thinking about, well, how can oh my gosh, that's overwhelming. That is. How can I start with the basics of functional medicine? And truly, the basics of functional medicine are those lifestyle interventions and healing the gut, because the gut is like your interface with the outside, okay? And so the simplest way to start to heal the gut is going through systematic optimization of digestion. So it's not normal to be constipated. We need to eliminate waste daily. All right. So it's not normal to have diarrhea. Those kind of symptoms suggest that you're setting yourself up for problems later. Oops, really itch my nose, sorry. So what I'm saying is that you may have interest in this, may not want to go to functional medicine school, and I have a way that you can access some functional medicine for yourself. You can access some functional medicine for your clients if you're interested in just trying to expand what you can give people. I recently put a lot of my courses they're video courses, along with some materials into a membership called the Energy for Life. Holistic healing and anti-aging exclusive membership, right? Well, you can be a part of this. What I found in my time as a physician is that when I combine functional medicine with biotechnology, and this is the biotech that I talk about frequently on my channel, that people will get better faster. And for that reason, I decided, well, gosh, anybody who's willing, who's wants to step into trying some biotechnology, they can have access to my courses. And so if you are curious, just like, well, what's functional medicine? You could, try some out yourself, go through some DIY courses. And the way that you can get access to that, you can send me an email. It does require that you actually purchase from me or from somebody on my team, anybody in my organization, some LifeWave patches to try. So that is, there's anybody that is associated with me, or if you are a practitioner and you're like, the phototherapy patches sound interesting, well, they're worth a try. And what you can do if you're trying them, that gives you the ability to share these ideas with your clients. So if you were to register, get some patches, you could say to your client who's having gut issues, hey, I have just met somebody, right? And you'll send me an email. I've met somebody and they are offering free functional medicine information that you can access. And the way into that functional medicine information is to try some of these phototherapy patches. So if your eyes glaze over when I say phototherapy patches, and you're not interested, it's totally fine. That's totally fine. You're not my people, all right? Because this works. When somebody brought them to me and said that their pain got better, I was like, oh, that's interesting because I got some pain. And so I had dramatic improvement in things that were happening in my body. I really thought I was going to have to stop medicine. And it helped me a lot, helped me bunches. And it's helped many of my friends, my family, my clients. And so what I see is that many times people don't, when they go into functional medicine, they're all trying to find energy, universally trying to find energy. And the X39 phototherapy patch, and that really is the specific patch that I'd suggest people try. It gives them that lift. It really makes a big difference in how they're feeling when they use it consistently. And then they're able to do the other things that we're talking about. So within the Energy for Life group, there's a private Facebook group. I go live in that Facebook group every day. You want to do a meditation every day, you can join me and meditate. I am this right now, this will go into the group so people are able to learn a little bit about functional medicine, and the handouts will go into the group. And I have multiple courses. I have a functional medicine full body reset. So what happens is people purchase the patches or become a brand partner. So that's how, if you're a practitioner, you would want to become a brand partner. And when you purchase your kit, I'll get a message saying you purchased the kit. And then I will reach out to you and say, hey, I see you purchased the kit. Let's get you into the membership. And then you'll get some patches. You can put them on people and see how they change what's happening. I remember the first time I used them in the clinic, I had somebody with a frozen shoulder, the shoulder issue. They could not lift it, like it was past there. And we put some patches on this person and they were like, oh, wow, what did you do? And that doesn't happen for everybody, right? And we use the IceWave and Eon patches. The IceWave is for pain and the Eon's for inflammation. That was before I even knew about the X39, which helps to turn on universal cells in the body. Turns on a lot of good things. I can tell you specifically about what it does, but the point is that this is an out-of-the-box way to get people better faster, and it's worth a try. It is not instantaneous, right? Some people feel it. If you're energetically sensitive, many acupuncturists will hold on to it and they'll go, yeah, I feel that. But if you're the average person, within a month usually, but I usually say give it 3 months to really try it. And then you come into the community. Once you're in the community, I would really love to have other practitioners who are interested and do like collaborating with me on doing a little short class on what's your passion within the community, that so that you sort of put your stamp on the community and you become an active part, and then you're offering this to your people without having to go to functional medicine school. And it's more about collaboration and seeing, how fast can we get people feeling good? How much better can people feel? So many folks are just accepting that they're going to feel crummy the rest of their lives, or it's all downhill from here. I do not accept that. And I really want to help you feel better. I want to help your family feel better. So this is my effort to try and get the word out here about two different things: functional medicine and the phototherapy patches. Below, you can email me. I've had a lot of people asking me, well, how can I reach out? Email me. Okay, put Energy for Life in the subject line. clinic@feelgoodfunctionalmed.com. And you too can be part of the revolution. Let's practice differently. Let's make huge difference in people's lives. And know that if you are, if somebody had you watch this video and they are part of my organization, get back with them so you can try some LifeWave patches and you can have access to the community. The community is for all my brand partners, all their brand partners, and their brand partners, and their customers, and their customers. So it's for everybody in my organization. And I'm just excited to tell you about it today, and hope that you guys all have beautiful, beautiful days. All right. Okay. See you later.